welcome back. This is going to be a quick lesson. First thing I'm going to do is I want you to see the lesson I just learned about 30 seconds ago. You know, when the camera came on, I'm going to let you guys come in. I'm not going to be on here any more than an hour because I have other things that I have to do on today, but that's neither here nor there. I wanted to speak to the single women out there. And of course, this is for the single men as well. You guys know I like to use the verbiage her, but to the men, just replace it in your head with she, just replace the stuff in your mind. That way I don't have to navigate between the verbiage. And excuse the hair, it is past time for it to get done. Hey, God serve it. God bless you. God bless you. As you guys come in, be sure to like and share. I'm going to show you the lesson that I just learned a few seconds ago. And you probably see it already, but if you don't, that's okay. You're going to see it in a minute. You're going to see it in a minute. I'm really excited about what God is doing. I'm really excited about 2023. I think that this is going to be a great year. It's going to be a fantabulous year. Not fantastic, but it's going to be fantastic, but it's going to be fantabulous as well. And you know what? I'm going to get myself together because I think that this year I'm probably making a fashion statement that I've never made before, and it doesn't seem to be intentional. You know why I'm saying that? Okay, I think I got enough people on here right now to show y'all. I had a whole meeting today, a whole business meeting where I had to go outside. I got home from the meeting about an hour ago. And I've been fine. I've been walking around. I ate, took my dog out, played with him on a couple of occasions, the whole nine. And you know what I just realized when I cut the camera on? I got this on backwards. I was in that meeting with my jacket on backwards. I didn't know that until I kept my camera on. See, this is what we call perspective, okay? I didn't know that until I cut my camera on. I'm at this meeting with my jacket on backwards. And the guy, he didn't say anything. He didn't say, excuse me. He probably thought I was making a fashion statement. So that's that. That's neither here nor there. I wanted to talk to the singles really briefly. Like I said, I'm not going to be on here very long because I do have something else I gotta do on tonight. However, this was something that was on my heart. And I'm gonna be transparent and be real with you guys. I was in my car thinking about this topic I'm about to talk to you guys about. I was in my car thinking about it, and I started laughing. He probably didn't notice. Hopefully he did, but I'm pretty sure he did. But I was in my car and I started thinking about single women. I started thinking about partially single women. And what I mean by partially single women, I'm talking about women who are single entitled because they're not married, but they are entertaining a dude. Mostly I'm really dealing with those on today, but I believe that single women need to hear this. I believe that you guys need to hear this. So my objective, right? I think hopefully he thought it was a fashion statement, right? Because yeah, hopefully he thought it was a fashion statement because Lord Jesus, I didn't know this thing was backwards until I turned this camera on and I could see myself. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I just? And I'm like, I have not changed my clothes since I've been home. I haven't taken the jacket off, put it back on, which meant I went outside like that. But I can see how I did it because I was rushing to get outside. All right, so I was in my car and I started having a thought about single women. I started having a thought. And when I got home, I took my recorder out, because I'm trying to do more uploads to Instagram or what have you. And I recorded. Now, let me say this. I know how to do the standard reel on Instagram, but I'm trying to learn how to do the reels where you have like a still image and then you can have like some type of animated, like I've seen somebody with snow coming down or what have you. And then there's an audio. I want to learn to do those because if I learn to do those, I don't have to come on camera all the time because I get a lot of revelation or what have you. And I don't always feel like coming on camera. I don't always feel like getting up, getting dressed to come on camera. So I want to learn how to do that. So if anybody knows how to do that, shoot me an email to say, hey, this is what you got to do or what have you. That's what I'm trying to figure that out. But when I got home, I did a recording I did a recording. Of course, when it comes down to that, I think it's like 3 minutes. So I tried to keep it under 3 minutes. It ended up going like 3 minutes and 10 seconds. When I went back and listened to it, I decided not to share it. And here's why. In it, I'm listening to it and it's hilarious. I'm talking to single women, it's hilarious. But then I'm talking mostly about and to partially single women. And I realized that I could potentially trigger somebody. I realized because a lot of times in ministry, you can tell the truth, right? But it's not that you shouldn't tell the truth, it's how you tell it. I was clowning on there. I was clowning. And I realized that wow, those of us who are fully single and those of us who are partially single, those of you who are partially single and you agree, it would be hilarious. But for somebody in that situation, they would feel made fun of. So it would lose the benefit behind it. It would lose the benefit behind it. So I decided instead of me posting that to come live and share with you with a more serious tone, but do forgive me if I get funny because it's just in my blood. But I started thinking about some of the hustlers I've come in contact with. And on this audio, I'm asking the ladies, I'm like, I really need you guys to make it make sense to me because I don't understand. And like I said, I'm talking to women who are not married. The reason I say that is because when you're married, you're going to go through all types of life seasons with your husband. He could be working real, have a good job and all that. Then he loses his job. You don't get rid of him because he lost his job. You hold him down. You're right. You need to make sure that you're doing something where you can hold the house down as well. So that's the thing. So I'm not talking to married women. I'm talking to singles because I've noticed that there is not even a pandemic, a plague of low self-esteem with women nowadays, to the point where sometimes I see women, they're so desperate to be in a relationship, they're so happy to have a man to finally come along. Because one of the things I think that the devil does with y'all is he keeps you perpetually single. Sister Lakita, you're beautiful. Thank you, sis. God bless you. God bless you. He keeps you perpetually single, and he keeps you single for a long time. He starves you out. That way, by the time he sends somebody's son into your life, you just completely ignore all the red flags simply because this man has, he's anatomically correct, and you're excited to have someone with testosterone on the other end for a change that ain't calling you sis. And I thought about how the enemy starves out women and he does that and what have you. And I've seen a plague of women that get into these type of relationships. And when they get into the relationship, they're working one job or they may be working a job and a half. But then you see them in a relationship and they've been in a relationship 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, and they still working 2 and 3 jobs. They're still working 2 and 3 jobs. And that's not even the issue because maybe she want to have her own money. Maybe she doesn't want to rely on him. I completely respect that. And that's not the issue. Let me tell you where the issue comes in with me. Where I've seen a plague of this where the woman I've seen women that are hustlers. Let's just say you out there, you selling t-shirts, right? You selling t-shirts and you come across this woman, you're like, hey, 3 for 25. She says, okay, sorry. Sorry, got a text I was waiting on. Okay. But I've seen a plague of this where going back to the t-shirt example. So you say, hey, these t-shirts are 3 for 25. She said, all I got is a 20 on me. Girl, you better cash at me that $5. Oh, come on, girl. Now that's not me because I do have a t-shirt. I have t-shirts for sale on Amazon. You guys know it. What have you, and I'm planning to get more on there. However, I'm not talking about that because I don't have any on hand that I'm selling, but this is just an example. But you sit back and you say, hey, I got these 33. Okay, yeah, definitely. I love it. 33. So I got these three t-shirts, 33. That's $11 each. This is a steal of a deal. These are name brand t-shirts or what have you there. You see these, you can wash them. They're not going to shrink the whole nine, all of that. And she looks at you and she says, all I got is 25. If you don't get your back alley mentality away from me, They're 33, ma'am. Normally they go for 50. I was offering you a deal for 33 because you want three of them. You were talking about these three. So I'm offering you a deal for 33. But all I got is 25. And the whole time there will be a dude sitting in the passenger side, just sitting there. And I'm like, you mean to tell me that this man has not enhanced your life one bit? This is going to be an ugly conversation. It's going to be pretty, but it might be ugly to some of y'all. But you know what? This is that talk they used to give us back in the day when they woke us up. The older women come out and teach the younger women. This is that talk right here. That talk that some of y'all never got from y'all elders. I got this talk from my elder when I was in my 20s. I'll never forget it. I was working at Walmart and I was bragging because, I was talking about this little date I had. I got a date tomorrow. I got a date tomorrow. And so, I'm still in that cutesy stage, right? Because everybody around me is older than me. So I'm always doing little cute baby things or what have you. So I remember saying to this lady, and I remember her name was Pat. I remember saying to Pat, I told her, I said, I got a date tomorrow. I got a date tomorrow. I was a size 4 back then. I used to like to lift up my shirt and show off my stomach. I was like, look, when I started getting a teeny little bit of pudge, and she was like, girl, you better get that under control. But I'm just happy because at that time you're young and you're just a darling. You're just a darling. So I go on a date. And that's it. I don't remember the date. I don't remember who I went on a date with. I don't remember that. I just remember I had a date. And the next day I come back to work and Pat asked me, did I want to go to lunch or something like that? And I kept talking about I was hungry, but I said I didn't have any money. And I remember Pat was in her 40s and Pat looked at me. She said, that's what I don't understand about y'all young women. Now, what I'm not talking about is prostitution. You should not be having sex outside of marriage. Period. Point blank. I'm not talking about that. But she said, I don't understand y'all young women. She said, you over here talking about you got a date, you got this date, this hot date and all this. And you mean to tell me he couldn't drop $5 on you to get you a Big Mac meal? Y'all, when I tell you she combed my hair with that comment, when I tell you she parted my hair, you know she parted my hair because I still remember it. A lot of stuff, a lot of things people say will not make an impact on you, right? You won't remember it. It's going to be gone. A lot of the stuff that I say that doesn't make an impact on you, it'll be gone. But in that moment, that hit the crap out of me. It hit me in my jugular. It hit me in my chest. It hit me so hard because she was basically saying, and I remember she made the comment. Now I don't align with this because even though I was in sin back then, she was like, she said a man ain't scared to touch on you yet, but y'all be scared. Y'all young women, I don't understand y'all generation. Y'all scared to let a man know, hey, I need $10. Hey, I need $15. She said that's one of the great ways to test the character of a man is to see if he's trying to help you out, is to see if he's willing to help you out. And when Pat walked out of my presence, she left me there without a diaper that I really needed. I needed that diaper. I needed that diaper. I wasn't mad at her. Don't get me wrong. Because what she did was she grew me up a little bit. She grew me up a little bit. All that little adorable, cute stuff, she grew me up a little bit. And like I said, don't take this as a prostitution message. Don't take this as if I'm going to give it to you, you got to give me something. You should not be having sex outside of marriage. But I'm seeing a pandemic, a plague of sorts of women. And, and men, it's the same. A woman should enhance your life. But I'm seeing this plague of women that are getting into relationships and you still got to hustle. And I'm trying to get somebody to make it make sense to me. I genuinely am. I genuinely am. You're still out here hustling. You still got 2 jobs and braiding hair on the side. You sitting up here selling t-shirts out of the trunk of your car. You still doing all of that. And the whole time the dude is sitting in the passenger seat, won't even get out and pump the gas. Somebody gonna have to make it make sense to me. I'm just trying to make it make sense. I'm genuinely not here to make fun of anybody, but I am trying to make sense of this. I don't understand it. I've had women that come to me and ask me for money, free services, and the whole time they got a scrotum. They got somebody that they've been dating 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And I'm like, and I try to be careful because when you ask a woman that hits her low because it wakes her up, what's your man for? Yeah. You know how I know I got some of y'all in here that you're guilty of that? That's okay. I'm gonna be big sister. I'm gonna be mama. I'm gonna be auntie. I'm gonna be who I need to be in this hour. Because that man that you're entertaining that don't care about your well-being, he's a temp. You got a whole dude. I got a rule. You can't unless you married, because married folks is a different thing. You cannot ask me for anything when you got a scrotum attached to you, especially, especially, especially for those of you, who you are. You outside of God's will. You riding this dude like a donkey. You sitting up here giving him white responsibilities, or you giving him white privileges, but yet you're not giving him the responsibilities. He don't have the responsibilities of a husband to protect, to provide. He doesn't have those responsibilities, and you wonder why you keep getting dismissed. You wonder why you keep getting dismissed. You wonder why you keep getting taken advantage of, because you keep living with this mentality. You're going to have to grow up out of that mentality. You're still in that mentality that if I'm nice to him and if I'm good to him, then he'll see I'm a good person and he'll love me and then he's going to be good to me. No, ma'am. Have you ever heard of a user? You know what? A user don't care how good you are. They don't care how nice you are. They just going to keep benefiting until you cut off their supply. They're going to keep benefiting until you cut off their supply. You can do all of that nice stuff. They will never get to the space. I'm going to tell you, my mama, God rest her soul. I miss my mom. What happened? My mom ended up in this relationship with this dude, right? And my mom has just a lineage of bad dudes. Like, over the course of my life, I just watched my mom go in relationship after relationship. My mom had to work 2 jobs while married to my dad. Now, my dad worked for quite some time, and then once he got out of work, he just stopped trying. So my mom is essentially taking care of my dad and us. My mom and my dad, they break up. My mom get with this one dude. This was an older dude, significantly older, so significantly older that he used to be my granddaddy's best friend. I was so disgusted. I was like, Mama, that's yuck. You're gonna have worms or what have you. I believe that at the time. Go lay down. Go lay down. Lay down. A little too animated back there. Go lay down, baby. Lay down. It's okay. I'm coming. Lay down. Eat your treat. But she ends up with this older dude. Now, the older dude, I didn't like him at first. Me, my sister, my brother, none of us liked the older dude. And it was, we, what do you call it when you discriminate against age? Because I know you got racism, you got the different like colorism and stuff. But what do you call it when you discriminate against age? That's where we was. That was our prejudice. Because we just see this old man that ain't got no hair here, got white hair coming around here, sitting in our living room, chewing like he ain't got no teeth. And I'm like, mama, mama, mama. But my mom, she entertains him or what have you. And this man made it really clear. He didn't want to get married. Ageism. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Ageism. So I was an ageist. I was an ageist. But the man made it clear. And this man was a gospel singer. I remember he was a part of a popular quartet. But he made it really clear that he didn't want to get married. But he would come over there and stay with my mom a day, stay the night, and what have you. But I can honestly say that now I don't agree with her being with him, but I would say I started thinking he was cool after the many times he helped us out. We were making fun of him at first. We were clowning this dude. So long story short, her and him finally break up because obviously he had a whole other woman, another older woman that was calling and cussing my mom out, and the woman was married. It was a weird situation. It was a married woman that had been messing with him, and he was best friends with her husband. But her husband, it's a hot mess. I'm not gonna go into the details. It was a mess. Guys, if I told you my whole life story, Hollywood, just listen. Y'all ain't even got to go have nobody write a script. I just give you a couple stories. I'm telling you right now. Long story short, my mom breaks up with him, and I saw her date different guys, but I remember the next long term one was who was the next long term one? Because we scared a couple of guys off, me and my sister. We were tag teaming. We were tag teaming. We were just getting, because we were used to my mom being with my dad, and then all of a sudden you bringing these dudes home or what have you, and we never seen my mama like that. You didn't see your mama like with different guys. He was trauma, but all of a sudden my mom got the next long-term relationship she got in. I'm trying to make sure I'm correct on this. was with this guy that called himself a pastor. This guy, obviously, my mom liked men of the cloth, right? My mom had first lady tendency. She did have that spot. I think that she should have been a first lady, because my dad, his dad was a pastor. But so my mom, she does always like men of the cloth. But the next long-term guy, I hope I'm remembering it correct, was this guy that was a pastor, but he didn't have a church. He pastored at prisons. That was it. He had a license, and the prison gave him permission to come up there and pastor or what have you. And that's that. This man had been married 5 times, had a temper on him, was living with his mama. I was like, Mom, and I would always try to get my mom to understand that you can do far better than that. You're a beautiful woman. What is wrong with you? But she didn't see herself that way. What they're discovering is that a lot of times the way we see ourselves is just not the way that the world perceives us. A lot of times when we look in the mirror, we see ourselves as unattractive, average, but the whole time, baby, you are 10. You are beautiful. You are beautifully and wonderfully made, but it's just in how we see ourselves, right? It's that warfare, the warfare of the mind, when the enemy is always causing us to look at what we feel like are beauty standards, and we're always trying to fit into those beauty standards. So long story short, she ends up with this guy. My friend girl knew him, and she got some dirt, and she was like, girl, that man beat all 5 of his wives. Right? He was an angry man. He beat all 5 of his wives. And I started seeing his anger, all of that. Long story short, trying to get my mom to leave him alone, she wouldn't. He had to break up with my mom. Eventually, he broke up with my mom because when she started buying the house, he tried to get her to put his name on the house. She said no, and he broke up with her. That was the one time I looked at my mom and said, I can't believe it. I'm so proud of you. Because, I was afraid that she would put his name on the house. So long story short, he broke it up with her. Within a week, he already was somebody else talking about getting married. Mom's upset. Mom goes out there. And next thing you know, and I'm not living with her at this time because I was married. My sister called me. Mama got another boyfriend. Who now? Some guy she met at church. Okay, what's the stats? So he's a man of the cloth. No, he's a security guard. Okay, so maybe he volunteered and he loved the Lord and what have you. No, the church is paying him. They hired him externally. Dude wasn't even saved. Now my mom ain't gonna lie, she wasn't in church like that, but this man was the epitome of a bomb. Like what you expect to see passing by a corner, he was the epitome of a bomb. She let this man come live in her house. He didn't have anywhere to go. He was sleeping on his sister's couch. She let this man come live in her house. My mom had to keep working 2 jobs while this man got paid from working at the church 2 days a week. And I remember his paycheck would be like a little over 100, like maybe every 2 weeks. And he didn't want to give all that up. He paid the water bill and bought maybe 2 or 3 packs of meat a month. That was it. And so we're sitting there telling her, Mom, you need to let this dude go. This ain't a good look. You can do better than that. My mom stuck with this man for 8 years, let this man bomb off of her for 8 years. He didn't even have enough respect for her to not even smoke in her house, knowing that she didn't smoke. You know what my mom died from? Lung cancer. Oh, I'm gonna wake somebody up. I may not wake up the entirety. Some of you so soul tired and you're so sleep right now that you just sitting there like and a dude laying beside you, crusty leg, and you didn't rolled him to sleep. And because you think he gonna wake up one day and love you. No. My mom was in a relationship with this man for 8 years. She was in there. And the worst part about it wasn't just that he was a bomb. You want to know what the worst part about it was? The fact that he would look at her daughters. He would look at us in the most uncomfortable way. Was peeping, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. We trying to tell my mama. He started with my sister. I was married, but when I moved in there, he tried me. Tried to break into my room when my mom went out of town. I got a whole story on that. He had a screwdriver. Tried to get into the bathroom right after I got off the shower. I could tell a story on that. And me telling my mom, and then my mom saying, I'll talk to him. And then he said he didn't do that. Well, at this point, it's your story against his. And I was like, I never thought I would have that mother. Thankfully, that happened as when I was a woman. I don't think it hurt any less, but I think that I was mature enough to weather the blow, and I had already been prepared for it because I was already seeing that she was always defending him. I'm saying that to say my mom waited on men to get better. They weren't going to get better. And what they realized was that it wasn't a requirement of them to get better. See, a man who cares about you who would care about the fact that you're hungry, would care about the fact that you don't have somewhere to stay, would care about the fact that, you have needs that are unmet. Now, you're supposed to care about that as well. But the problem is, some of y'all don't care enough about yourself to wait and let God heal and develop and mature you so that you'll be mature enough to differentiate between a wild animal and a husband. I watched my mom her entire life keep getting in relationships with bombish dudes that were not going to change. I watched her my entire life go from getting this relationship with this dude, and I won't say entire life, well, I can't say because she was with my dad all the way up, and my dad, I love my dad, but he wasn't trying. You got to understand, whenever you get in a relationship, a person, they'll give you what you're willing to accept. You get confused as to why he got out of a relationship with you and married the next girl, which she ain't a reward because you can't win a loser. But you confused as to how he got out of a relationship with you and he's treating her better because that's a requirement of hers. You were afraid to put that requirement out there because you were afraid that it would be too much. He couldn't afford that. You were afraid that he wasn't going to be willing to pay that price for your hand, for your attention. You were afraid, so you lowered your standards, lowered your value, not realizing that anything that is cheap is one, common, and two, is replaceable. If a man or a woman, to my brothers, if a man sees you as replaceable because you devalued yourself, because you get your knees dirty for him, but you can't get your knees dirty in prayer, I'm gonna talk grown to you. You doing all that trying to make him choose you. How many penises that you have to touch and stare at before you come to realize that it does not work? I got to be hard with y'all sometimes. How many times you got to keep going in that same cycle before you wake up and realize that this is not going to work? How many times you got to sit there and lay next to a man trying to hope that he's going to care about you, and he just doesn't. He's able to discard you whenever he decides to. When somebody else comes along who got lower self-esteem and a bigger butt than you. When do you get to the point where you put standards in front of yourself and say, hey, I'm this valuable, and if you can't afford me, that's okay, keep walking. If you can't afford my hand in marriage, if you can't afford my attention, if you're not even getting God's attention, why would I entertain you? Because you're not going to help me. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to help with my loneliness, and not even that, because y'all know when y'all with these dudes, they be emotionally absent. The ones that don't love the Lord and all that, you still lonely. Tell me if I'm lying. You still lonely. You still lonely. You still sitting up there, and now you using all your energy and time trying to talk him into being the man that God had reserved for you in the first place. Trying to teach him how to be the one. All I'm asking for is you to just spend a little bit more time with me. All I'm asking is for you. It just seems like you be so busy. You just want to keep playing that video game. You want to be with your boys. All you want to do, the only time you want to come around me is you want to have sex. Literally, you are sitting there and you are telling yourself, but you're so deaf that you can't hear. You're so blind that you can't see. Sister Dorothy, thank you. God bless you. God bless you. You're literally sitting there and telling yourself the truth, but you refuse to hear it. I done held you down. I left my church for you. I stopped talking to my friends for you. I stopped doing this for you. I did all that for you. And what is he, how does he respond? I ain't asked you to do all that. You did that on your own. And then y'all be sitting up there, you have to blow up leaders trying to figure out. And half the time, when you come to the church or you come to a leader, you want us to cast the demon out the dude because you think if the demon go, he'll be a better man. No, ma'am, he was supposed to go to the altar first on his own. If I got to carry you to the altar, it's because you're my kid. Some of you are having pedophilic relationships with these men that you're with, or with these women that you're with, to the guys. It's pedophilic because spiritually speaking, you older than him. You carry him all around. He got diapers, he crapping all over you, he vomiting all over you. And you're trying to drag this joker to the altar so he can get delivered. And you don't even realize the man don't want deliverance because you keep thinking if we cast a demon out the dude, then he gonna be better. It's the demon that make him act like that. You know, demon that make him act like that. He got demons, but he got demons because can two walk together except they be agreed? He's in agreement with satanic principles. He's in agreement with satanic principles. And let me say this to the 20-year-olds, the 20 and the 30-year-olds, or the early 30s. By the time y'all keep doing that till by the time you get 40, you be bitter as heck. Be bitter as heck. You be sounding like you smoke a pack a day, 3 packs a day. There it is, man. Here, yeah, I'm just all that bitterness, it being got up in your lungs, it just be all over the place because you just spent all of your time on rotation going from this dude to that dude. Well, he better, his daddy was a pastor. Girl, run. Oh, because he didn't got comfortable with Christianity. Now, not to say everybody who's dad is a but I'm just saying y'all be finding differences with each dude to try to justify in your head why he must be better. No, girl. This one here, because you were right about that dude that was a pastor's son. Girl, that boy was a whole demon. But this one here, he's the son of a drug dealer. And guess what? Tuesday, we were out to eat. He said, the man upstairs, he got a call in his life. And you know what, girl? While we were at that table, Sister Dorothy, you're awesome. Thank you. God bless you. While we were at that table, I began to prophesy over him. I said, God's going to use you. You got a call in your life. That's good. Now he got you in a rap video clapping your booty together. And then when that's over with, now you over here dating. Girl, it's just something with these black dudes. Forget it. Girl, I went got myself a white man. Okay. You do know that demons don't care anything about color, right? It's not a color thing. You do understand that it's not a color thing. You do understand that. No, girl, he got some properties, he got this, he got that. Okay. 3 months later. Whatever happened to the guy? The guy. Oh, girl, you talking about the white guy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What happened to him? Girl, I found out that he had a whole other girlfriend. Was dating a Latina chick. He like him brown skin. Okay. So I don't think you understand this term, and this is a term I've made up, but I've introduced it to some of my friends. Exotic head hunting. You do know sometimes people are not interested in you. Now I'm not saying when it comes to relationship, because it could be. It doesn't have to be cross, racial lines, because sometimes people have there's something exotic about you that piques a person's interest. And once that thing is fulfilled, they're no longer interested in you. I'm not saying that because you can come across a great guy of a different race that genuinely is interested in your character. But anytime you're dating anybody, it doesn't matter what color they are, you have to find out what are they interested in. Oh, what are you interested in with me? Pay attention to the conversation, because sometimes the guy may sit up there and say, like, Tiffany, you know what I like about you? You got your own businesses. You really driven, all of that. Oh, okay. Nothing else? Now I was telling my mom and I was telling my cousin them. I was like, man, she got her own stuff and what have you though. And because I was the other girl, she expected somebody to take care of her. That dude is sitting there telling me he's not attracted to me or interested in me. He's interested in what I bring to the table. Y'all better stop trying to listen with your bad ear. You want to find out what is he interested in? Like, is he genuinely, same thing for you guys. What is she interested in? Is she interested in you or your car? Some of y'all got car babies. That girl humped you because you had a nice car. You rolled through the hood with a Lambo. Now you should have named your kid Lambo because that's the only reason she gave it up to you. Because she wanted to have a car seat in the back of your Lambo. Because she wanted to be seen attached to you. Go trade that Lambo for a Corolla and see what happens. Go trade that Lambo for a Corolla and see what happens. I'm saying that to say you have to, one, value God. That's number one. I'm not going to harass you with the doctrine that's popular today. My mental health. Let me go. It's gonna be me time. I'm taking time out for me. I'm worried about me. I'm choosing me first. Demonic. Anything you do before God is an idol. And you put yourself before God. You go into that because I've seen people do crazy stuff to the church with that mindset. I'm choosing me first. Demonic. Demonic, no, choose God first. He says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. And then he gonna teach you. Your mental health is going to be found in him. That's your mental wealth, and your mental health is going to be found in him. But you going on a spa, a vacation, cutting everybody off is not mental health. I don't know where y'all got that crap from. We still doing that in 5 shades of crazy. You should know it ain't working if you still rocking yourself to sleep at nighttime, crying and looking at the knife, wondering whether or not you want to take yourself out. Y'all got to stop with this bull crap just because it's trending. It is completely trending, right? Self-care is crazy. Self-care is good if you do it within the context. I'm chasing God first. Because if you go to the whole mental health thing, typically what's going to happen is I don't feel like I can volunteer at church because I really didn't feel like it. I was tired. I was exhausted from work or what have you. And I just can't let the church kill me. I get it. Yes, have boundaries, but still, you can't come to church because you're talking about mental health. So that means that you are exalting yourself. You're exalting yourself over the kingdom because God will have you to crucify your flesh. Get up and go to church. I don't feel like it. Get up and it doesn't matter. Go. Crucify it. But that self-care thing is basically about feeding the flesh in most cases. It's about feeding your flesh, feeding your lust, feeding your lustful appetites, just giving in to yourself so that you can feel better. And I keep telling y'all, the worst thing you can do to yourself is idolize your feelings. Because, baby, anything you feed will grow, anything you starve will die. If you keep feeding your feelings, you're going to become emotional and crazy. Emotional Christians are crazy as heck. Build that hallelujah, God. Glory to your name. We bless your name. Your mother alpha. No. You don't know me. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Wait, hold up, sis. Didn't I just see you over here sound like a female version of Joel Osteen? And you over here 3 shades of crazy, filled with demons. Just sitting there looking all sweet and nice and innocent. And as soon as somebody touched your flesh or a demon and somebody else came and rang the doorbell for your demon came out and said, I'm here. I'm saying all this to say, and I got to get ready to go. Yeah, I got to get ready to go. I'm saying all this to say, if somebody does not enhance your life, if their presence does not enhance your life, their presence is not going to is not beneficial. If their presence, let me say it the right way. If their presence does not enhance your life, their absence will. I'm not saying that somebody got to come in and they better be financially stable and everything. Sometimes you build together. That's okay. But the person has to be intentional. He has to have a relationship with the Most High God on his own, one that's not being provoked by you, that's not being you having to manipulate him into the church or what have you. He has to have a relationship with God on his own. He has to either be working or he needs to be active. If you sitting here working and having to finance or support him while he playing video games and playing with Vaseline, then the only thing that you're doing is validating his mindset. I don't know who needs to hear that. He has to want, and at the same time, he has to honor you. I would not entertain a man who does not honor my God. You see, but you know why? Because I don't exalt me over God. I exalt God over myself. I exalt God over myself. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I know he's mistreating you, God. I know that he's mismanaging you and being abusive towards you, don't want anything to do with you, but he does want me. So just give me a moment, okay? You see how crazy that sounds? Let somebody tell me that. Tiffany, I know my friend is disrespectful to you. I know that she don't like you and all that, but still, just kind of work with her. Girl, you a busted booty lie. I bet you I don't entertain you or her. I am not about to have to sit there and just be abused when I know I don't deserve that. But that's what you're saying to God. Let him be disrespectful to you, dishonorable towards you. I love you. You're number one in my life, even though you're not a part of his life. Y'all do know the Bible says a house divided cannot stand. So why would you build something that's scheduled to fall? I don't understand it. I'd be genuinely trying to make stuff make sense. Why would you build something that's scheduled to fall? Why would I go into a relationship with a dude who does not love or fear the Lord and be with him and just be like, okay, this is my evangelistic duty? No, a house divided cannot stand. The prefix of divide is div. It's the same prefix in divorce. When you marry him, you are already going through a divorce. That's if he marries you. And then he leads you further and further outside the will of God. Now you got STDs, which sexually transmitted demons. You pick up his demons. Now you're so tired of losing your mind, scared of losing him. But you're not afraid to go in eternity without God. I don't understand that. Because the love that you seek in him, God is love. God is pure love. So you mean to tell me you would chase the created thing over the creator? You would chase tainted love over pure love? I don't. I be trying to make stuff make sense to myself when I drive all that, and it just don't. I put it in the corner of my head for later, but it's just still it just don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You at the sex store with him buying heating oils and dildos and all that other stuff because he a perv, and you over here trying to figure out some way to entertain the dude, and you expect him to become a better man. You validating where he is right now. You have to love God, number one. God has to be your everything. And by doing that, God is like a mirror. When you go before him, the closer you get to him, the more you're going to see yourself. He'll give you a revelation of who you are. He'll give you a revelation of who you are. And when you start seeing yourself and seeing that, hey, I'm beautifully and wonderfully made, I'm valuable. When you start seeing yourself the way that God sees you, you'll start discounting yourself for these men or for the guys. You'll stop discounting yourself for broken women. You'll stop doing it, period. You start realizing you got muscles, you got dimples, you got some pretty lips, but none of that is beneficial to my mental health. I don't want to be have fun looking at you, but I can't stand hearing you. See, I got five senses. So I gotta sit there and look at you and be like, you are so cute. And you say, and then you saying the stupidest stuff. Get in the bedroom, self-centered, with all the senses. Taste, touch, Don't even care what his breath smell like, hear and smell. If he or she does not enhance your life, their absence will. You got to understand, because I'm a business owner, and I deal with women like that from time to time. Not too much, because people know in the world of business I'm very solid, but I deal with people like that from time to time, and I just be sitting there like, you got a whole, and it's no secret that you're screwing the dude. Like, you got a whole man over there that you biting and licking and playing house with. Y'all ain't married, and you trying to hustle and trying to get me to do something for cheap or free. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, amen, Sister Crystal. I might have to do that. You got a whole dude over there that's playing video games, benefiting from you, do having orgasms that he is not qualified for yet, and you giving him all these benefits. And what you're doing is now you're trying. You got to play husband, because you got to walk around trying to figure out how to make some money, how to hustle, how to save him some money, and he don't even respect you enough to get up and wash his tail. Sitting on the bed, been sitting there stinking for 3 days and don't care nothing. The armpits stink. The only time he cares when he about to go outside, because he got to impress other women. But you in love with his potential, because you know what? One day you've imagined it. He's gonna be a man of God, and all of your suffering shall be for naught. It will not be for naught. Okay, you will have him, and everybody will say, "Oh, my sister, I am proud of you. Oh my goodness, you have. Oh my goodness, this is such a fantabulous man. I don't know how you got him. Oh my goodness." You think it's gonna be like that? No, it ain't gonna be like that. What's he gonna be like? He gonna keep being a bomb until somebody else whose self esteem is lower than yours comes and rescues him from you. Satan will always come back and take custody of his children from you. That's why y'all keep breaking up. You don't even understand. Whenever you're in a demonic relationship, you ain't nothing but a daycare. You ain't nothing but a daycare. You over there taking care of this dude for the next 3 years, 5 years. He give you a couple of kids, and then he out there on the run, out there playing with somebody else's mind. Now you out there waiting on the next dude, and then you have the audacity to tell the next dude what this dude did to you, because you think if I tell him, then he ain't gonna do the same thing to me, because he know what I went through. Yeah, I had 2 kids with this dude, and I can't even believe he did that stuff to me. And I mean, he didn't just leave me for another woman. He left me for my first cousin. Yeah, he left me for my first cousin. And the worst part about it is you know, she was living with me at the time. And he left me for her, and now they together. I never in my life sit back and look at a person that left to be with another person as being better off. I genuinely don't. Because I understand the law of sowing and reaping. And honestly, I understand that the word of God is true. But I also understand that I put myself in that situation, so I can forgive them by taking accountability. I can't believe it, girl. He left me for a middle-aged woman. I don't know what race she is. I was looking at her, and I was like, she has straight hair. She got black folks skin. I remember seeing somebody in France like that. And I was like, what is that? I genuinely did. I went to France for the first time, and I was with my ex-husband. We got on the train, and I saw somebody with dark skin darker than mine. We had some super straight hair. And He was the darkest man I probably ever seen, but he had super straight hair. And I just remember I was so ignorant. I had never been outside before, never been out the country before. It was my first time being out the country. And I'm sitting there staring at that man. And I asked my ex, I said, "What's that?" I was like, "What? I've never seen that race before." I don't know what race he was. He could have potentially been Indian, but I'm saying that's how we tend to be. We always try to go for what's exotic. We always try to go for what's different. Okay, this time it's going to be different. No, you're still in sin. So you're still going to reap corruption because you're still sowing into the flesh. You're going to reap corruption. You know how I know I stepped on some toes today? I see the activity, praise the Lord. I got a lot of folks just staring at me. A lot of folks just staring at me. I got to close because I got to go. But I'm saying all of this to say, love God with all of your heart so he can teach you how to love yourself better. And if you are partially in a relationship, meaning you're entertaining somebody that is not your husband, especially those of you that God and told you he don't want to be in a relationship, but he all friends, but you friends with benefits. I have to remember that sometimes I don't know y'all because I've been wanting to talk to you like a real big sister and tell you I would heat up some cooking oil and hit your throat with it. Because how is it that you feel that's okay for somebody to take benefits, to soul tie themselves to you, to dishonor your body, to disqualify you from your husband, to transfer demons into you and not have any type of responsibility to you? You guys are calling them sneaky links. It's stupid. How is it you got a sneaky link, but your bills ain't sneaky? I don't. I gotta go because I genuinely I get passionate. I be wanting to stab people in pants. Like, how is it that you got somebody coming over to your house, or you going over to somebody's house and you sneaking around with him, sister? Tanya, you're beautiful. Thank you, sis. God bless you. You sneaking around with him. You are literally. You are literally. How do I say this in a PG way? You are literally ingesting the bodily fluids of everybody that he has been sleeping with because you putting your mouth on this man because you competing. See, when you have to compete, you got to do some freaky stuff because you know that there's probably somebody out there that's doing something to him. So you are competing. You are consuming the bodily fluids of women and maybe even men, and he won't even claim you. He won't even claim you. And you keep thinking that I think he likes me because he got jealous. No, he's territorial. Beloved Debs, God bless you. Thank you, sis. You out here on this dude doing crazy stuff to his body, disqualifying yourself from your husband outside the will of God. And for what? Because you think that you're going to get a blessing out of sin. That's like thinking that you can get oranges from an apple tree. Just because he called you baby when he was in the mood, he kissed you so passionately. Girl, that's the part of the performance. That's what makes him feel good. That had nothing to do with you or how he cared about you. He looked me in the eyes when we going, yeah, okay, that's just his thing. Okay. That's just his thing. He did the same thing with the dude he was sleeping with. He had him turn his head so you can look. Turn your head all the way around. I like eye contact. I like eye contact. And you thinking that means that he care. Okay, like I said, I gotta be the big sister. I gotta be the big sister. I love y'all. I pray that I have stepped on your toes hard enough to get you to pull yourself out of those toxic, ungodly, unfruitful relationships that are causing you to become demonized and delayed. And that you get up there and you say, let me chase God with all of my heart, mind, and strength. Let me give up my plans. Let me give up all that I have and let God bring my husband in due season. Either that or you can spend the next decade on rotation. Your choice. I can't choose it for you. I can come over here and I can tell you what thus said the Lord, whatever the Lord laid on my heart. I can come tell you, I can put it out there straight for you. It's up to you in the end, whether or not you listen. Sister Jasmine, you're awesome. Thank you, sis. God bless you. It's up to you in the end if you listen. Well, he's just in a bad spot, Tiffany. Some people live there. They not, yeah, he there. But how long he been there? It's because his ex-wife, girl, she put him through some stuff. And let me say this, if he's still married, you should be entertaining him. Well, we ain't slept together. You shouldn't be entertaining him, period. He shouldn't be calling you. I'm not talking to nobody's husband. That thing will come back and bite you in the butt. He just, the hard place, his wife, she took the house, she took the car, she took everything. And so now, he was living in a cardboard box in his mama's backyard because his mama wouldn't let him in the house. His mama wouldn't let him in the house for a reason, sis. But I just told him he can come live in my basement. You want to play? Because I don't believe in talking in circles and playing with feelings. I genuinely don't. I'm going to talk to you straight, girl. That man may be living in your basement. That was an agreement. But you can sit here and play with me, but I know he in your bed. So you got a bomb in your house, a married one at that. And you thinking he going to become something great? All right, that's okay. This was an energy drink. It was just to wake some people up. I know I ain't gonna wake everybody up. I know I ain't gonna wake. For those of you who were sleeping, I don't even know if I can play it. I was about to play Hush Little Baby. For those of you who want to stay asleep, come back and talk to me. You'll come back and say you're right. I can tell you that now. You'll come back and say you're right. But I'm saying that to say, don't cause yourself a delay, y'all. Don't cause yourself any more delays. Don't find yourself 65 years old with a boyfriend at his funeral, yelling at his wife, talking about something. He left you 20 years ago. He been with me for 20 years. Like that's a flex. The boyfriend, the girlfriend, and the wife at the funeral. Sister Poya, I love me some you. Thank you, sis. God bless you. The girlfriend and the wife at the funeral. Well, I get to get his benefits because he was with me. And the wife, like, legally speaking, man, we're still married. Now y'all fighting over a bunch of stuff that the man barely had. Y'all fighting over a little log cabin off somewhere that should be condemned. Fighting over a 65-year-old Yorkie. And for what? You spent the rest of your life living in hell, and then you got to go before God and give an account. Man, listen. I'm sorry, and I'm not encouraging sin. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not encouraging sin, but I will say this: if I'm going to sin, you can bet your by golly that it won't be in a trailer. Now I'm not telling you. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not telling you it's okay to sin. Go just make sure the man. No, you can bet your by golly I ain't saying he gotta have a mansion, but I'm saying they ain't gonna be in nobody's trailer at his mama's house in the backseat at his boy's house, backseat of his car, on top of the air conditioning unit in somebody's backyard. Y'all be into some weird stuff. Okay. Y'all be into some weird stuff. I tell you that much. Y'all be into some weird. Let me block this person. Anyhow, I'm getting ready to go anyhow. I love you. This is the evidence that I love you. It's because I came out on my own volition. Of course, the Lord was dealing with me to speak to y'all and say, daughters and brothers, stop doing that to yourself, okay? Sister Renee, you're awesome. Thank you. God bless you. Stop doing that to yourself. It ain't gonna get better. I'm sorry. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't want to be the bearer of bad apples, but I gotta put it to you. Just like he putting it to you, I gotta screw you as well. But I'm gonna give you the truth. Right? I'm gonna unscrew him with the truth. Sweetie, that man ain't gonna change. That's what you're volunteering for the rest of your life. And the sad part about it is you deserve better. Christ paid the price for you. And if you were to serve God with your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, and your everything, your finances, every part of you, God will bless you on every side. And over the course of time, God will send you a man who genuinely loves you back. And you ain't got to work for it. And y'all will be mutually beneficial, because relationships are supposed to be mutually beneficial. Or you can keep on riding that saber-tooth dragon that you got, the unemployed saber-tooth dragon that don't know what he want. All he want to do is sit up and play video games and watch porn all night long. And you can keep dreaming of his potential, thinking that someday that guy up in there is going to become a pastor. Now, by the time y'all hit 65, he still ain't married to you, or 70, sin start eating away at his body, and next thing you know, you having to wheel his old dusty butt around in a wheelchair. Just try not to paint the man, okay? Because I've seen that. Older women get so bitter because they sat back and thought the man was going to change, and then 25 years later, they can't stand him. 44 years later, got him in a wheelchair. Shut up, Ebenezer. Shut up. She'll wheel you into traffic. Oh, there you go. I love y'all. Y'all got me late. I love y'all. Y'all gonna have to do better, okay? This was just me being a vessel for God to come out and tell you that he has better in store for you, but you're gonna have to choose him. Because I'm not saying better like break up with this dude and wait for the next dude. No, you got to be single for a while. You got to chase God. Let God be your number one. Let God be your only thing and your everything for now, until you are ready, until God sends a person or God brings a person. I love you guys. I love y'all so much. All right. Bye-bye.